It's July 17th, 2022. So I'm in the bathing room, let's call it at the moment. And I mean, from my studies of communicable diseases and medical microbiology, I'm looking for possible sources or reservoirs of infection. And now I had done a deep clean on the bathroom, to the section behind me. This morning I wake up, there's this weird foul smell that I don't know where it's coming from. And I'm looking up for sources of it. And on the walls, which I cleaned off, on these walls, I cleaned the entire surface. But on this surface, there are these almost like microfibers. It looks like, for me, it looks like some it looks like cloth fibers that are stuck to some kind of like almost maple syrup. I mean, we don't smoke, but yet it looks like there's tar on the walls all the way up top with no source. Just these weird fibrous materials stuck to the surface of the wall. I mean, this is so foul, but this is the level of New York that I'm existing in at the moment. I didn't have this when I was a kid. We had a cleaning lady. The house was clean. Now my mom's sick. I'm not doing well, and it's really gross. And what it looks like is it looks like nanofibers. Like in this area, I've heard on the news, they have this microfiber technology that they came out with that they ship in, which is what I'm actually wearing. But the problem is that something is woven in, I have a feeling, with this technology that I'm wearing. It sheds these weird nanotech fibers that I don't know what the health consequences of these microfibers are. I don't know why they are so, like, why can't you get just a regular cotton anymore? Even the tissues, the microfiber technology in a tissue, if you leave a regular tissue next to a black phone, within a couple of hours, with however the air is moving inside of a room, the actual tissue, the actual phone will have these white gray fibers all over the surface of it from whatever is falling in the air. I mean, this is not acceptable. They say dust exists, dust mites exist. I mean, this is really foul. And then I'm going to go on the news. They have this monkeypox. And I'm looking at what they're claiming to be the microbiota of monkeypox. And I'm like, if they're saying monkeypox is something that's bloodborne infection, but yet the microscopic biota that's on the television is not an erythrocyte or a leukocyte. It's not a red blood cell or a white blood cell. It's almost like an amoebic something, which has peritrichus, almost like a peritrichus motile movement, but all around the cell. And I don't have a catalog of amoebic names. However, I can see what they're, and then there's another version of this. There's like some capsulate dodecahedron of some sort, or tetrahedron of some sort. I don't even have the shape sizes because my catalogs have been, or my medical Bible was thrown out by Linda. So doing self-assessment is incredibly difficult, but here we are. I'm going to go get the stuff that's on the news right now. Hang on. All right, here's the mention of it.
As the city steps up efforts to combat monkeypox, there are now hundreds of cases of the disease across the city. CBS 2's Christina Fan joins us live from one of those sites in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Cindy. 461 monkeypox cases have been confirmed in the 5 boroughs. That accounts for about 30% of cases nationwide. Later this morning, the city health commissioner is expected to visit the site of this new vaccination center to show how the city is fighting the spread. New York is the epicenter of the nation's monkeypox.
So now they're claiming this is monkeypox, except the 2 different cells on this histology look being the histology, which is the study of tissues or cellular and like the stains and that whole like microcrypt of like could kill you and you don't even know it. This is not an erythrocyte, and this is not an erythrocyte. I don't know what type of microbiota either of those are, but they're not an erythrocyte and they're not a leukocyte. They're something else. And then it goes from this image that they've used a lot of, they move into something that's actually motile and has like peritrichous, I don't know if you call it flagella, because it's, again, I don't have my books with me, but it's many different moving motile features. Here's the rest of the
outbreak. The demand for the vaccine far outpacing sufficient supply. Today, 3 new mass vaccination sites are opening up to help administer as many first doses as possible.
And more people here need it than ever.
The 3 sites by appointment only are located at Aviation High School in Queens, Bushwick Education in Brooklyn, and Bronx High School of Science. More than 9,000 appointments opened up on the city's online vaccine portal Friday, but were filled within minutes. The health department says more doses from the federal government are expected later this week.
We need resources out here in the Bronx to, be able to combat, detect monkeypox before it becomes a problem. Because as far as I'm concerned, the rate is insane.
Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson is grateful one of the new sites is opening up in her community, but says there is a need for a permanent sexual health clinic, providing antiviral and other services. While more than 50% of New York's cases are currently in Manhattan, Gibson says that can change in an instant.
Because many Bronxites live with underlying health conditions like heart disease, asthma, obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure, further exacerbated by a positive case of monkeypox.
Even though there are no more online appointments, about 4,000 additional doses will be made available through referrals from community partner organizations that serve high-risk patients. Live from Bushwick, Brooklyn, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
Christina, thank you. New this morning, 4.
That's really disturbing. I'm going to see if I can find the one where they show the other projectile. And on the news today, actually on CBS, Sunday mornings, Jane Pauley had on a man who was talking about long COVID. They were talking about Epstein-Barr. Now, in my local area, as I was walking the other day, there was a man who was on the phone with somebody else, and he said that his whatever always said, you buy the furniture before the bar. Now in like SBS, small business, like if you're actually opening a bar, that makes no sense. But if you have this long agenda of purposely harming people and infecting large populations to wipe out entire civilizations, in that sense, it would make sense in a really frightening determination. It's not okay. It's not okay to have these microfibers that disintegrate and become some other kind of toxin and pollutant that's now in the house and hard to get rid of. It's not okay with their stickiness on the wall from just the water that's coming out of the tap, has this brown hue to it. And there's no way, the water's already polluted. Your skin is like a porous organ. So now you're being intoxified from the water as you're trying to cleanse yourself. It's really frighteningly horrid. And then at times there's this like excretion that is like an oil with a ammonia mixed into it, which is signs of some kind of high pollutant and intoxication of the body. I've been trying to eat clean. I've taken the food out of my diet to try to limit the exponential factors of my biochemistry. And I've tried to use just the raw organic shake powder with the greens in it with some MCT oil. I've been doing that for over 20 days now. And while I've seen changes in biodensity, being my BMI, there's this, I'm just trying to figure out where the source of like a kidney infection could come from that's just bombarding or berating my kidneys at such a large, like my UA came out with a UTI, like leukocytes like overflow, which means that something, whether it be foodborne transmission, or which I'm trying to limit, or the inside household environment, something is definitely wrong. But it's frightening not having the level of doctor that I need. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.